Yo, yo. Wagwan, gentle people. Alright, just double checking that everything's actually alright. Welcome everyone, Sanju Che here. Welcome to the end of month subscriber stream, as we do here at the end of every month, or ideally the last day of every month here on the channel. But yeah, funny enough, just random fun fact for the persons who are here for me who had that monitor issue, like I don't think it was last stream, I think it was 2 end of month live streams ago. It seems like the issue is more so caused by well, granted my VGA to HDMI adapter went bad, but it seems like OBS is causing some issue as well, where like when my external display just goes black. Even though, let me just show you something here. Like, if I even switch this, right, my current display, what you're seeing on the right there is my display to my left. If I switch it to my display to my right, it shows, but for some reason, for me, it's just displaying black. I don't know, and that's usually while OBS is up for some reason. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know, it could be driver issues. I don't know. But anyway, that's besides the point. Welcome everyone. It's been a while, I believe. Turn down the music a bit. I think that should be a decent level. Just put in these earphones. Let's see here. Chicago Q, welcome to the stream. Thumbnail speak. Thanks. To be honest, I should have scheduled the stream from way earlier. So when I got home late from work, I just like, okay, oh, I know, Meta's been promoting their new Meta AI. Let me just just try to prompt it for some decent images, and this one came out pretty nice to me, so why not use it and just make it a part of the thumbnail for the most part. Let's see, is everything looking alright on you guys' side? I think so. I feel like I'm not centered in the camera here. No? More to the right? I think more to the right. Yeah, that's better. Alright. Alright, so as you guys can tell, this stream, well, it's usually anything you guys want to talk about, but of course, I wanted to take the opportunity to, talk quite a bit about a few Boruto topics, especially since I haven't been doing a lot of videos since this year started. So yeah, are we looking? Hold on, just want to make sure. Everything's looking alright with the stream. No, I think it should be. I don't think I've even shared on the stream actually. Oh yeah, things do look alright with the stream for the most part. Alright, so I guess without further ado, let's get right into it for the most part. So, guys, let's be honest. Kawaki. I gotta be asking myself, like, what happened, fam? Like, 2 Blue Vortex has been a string of bad showings, I'd say, when it comes on to the character of Kawaki, man. Like, as I would have put on a post a few days back, like, courtesy of a friend of mine, it seems like Kawaki is becoming the new, you know, Otsutsuki Sakura, essentially, right? I mean, like, this man just can't catch a break from, you know, the earlier chapters of 2 Blue Vortex, where it seems that he's kind of struggling against the Cloud Grime, thinks he can take a code that's basically already down and out, to Mitsuki knocking him out, essentially, to Jura the Ten Tails basically one-shotting him, to Boruto one-shotting him. So it's just not looking good for the man, honestly speaking. And don't get me wrong, I hope the music isn't too loud. I don't know. Yeah, don't get me wrong, like, obviously Kawaki is one of those characters that, you know, was one of the major selling points when it comes on to the story getting to that turning point and get, like, just really engaging the audience, because of course, because of the flash forward from chapter 1, episode 1, where, okay, I'll send you the way of the 7th, I mean, who's this character, etc, etc, and to finally get to that point in the manga and anime where, yo, finally Kawaki, yo, shit, yo, things are really heating up. And I think persons would arguably say that he's definitely one of the best characters when it comes on to Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. So that's not to really dismiss all the positives he's contributed to the story, but you know how we are in the community, we'll joke and make fun of certain characters when they're consistently not performing over a stretch of time. And even though we're going to chapter 10, you gotta think about it. It's been 10 months and I don't think I've been impressed with when it comes on to Kawaki. Honestly, it's just not looking good for the man. Like, ugh, like, even going back to this latest chapter 9, right? I mean, Boruto comes to Konoha. This man recoups stick. Alright, let me just go through it. So, can you hear me, Boruto? Yada yada yada. During Boruto's trespass, he's probably erased his chakra signature near the Great Gate, right where the Jonin were murdered. What are you sneaking around for? And those creepy monsters, they friends of yours? Lord 8, I need a little time. Kawaki's found me. What? And what are you loitering around here for when Konoha is under enemy attack? That's some serious self-denial. You're the enemy of Konoha, Boruto. Enough. Dealing with them is the higher priority. If you want, you're welcome to come along. Are you mocking me? Of course, one activates his dojutsu. Daikoku Tensei Kuno Ikuona. Boruto dodges. This man just one-shots man, essentially, dog. It's like Boruto's like, yo, fam, have you even been training? More like, how much did you train? This man proceeds to activate his karma, level 1. It resonates with Boruto. So there's definitely that. But yo, the point is, Kawaki hasn't not been having good showings when it comes on to this at all. Let's go back to even the last chapter. And then you have Jura and Hidari coming to the village. Let's see. I just want to get to that point right there. And the funny thing is, everybody's dodging his chakra rods, dog. It's actually crazy. Kicks, Dari blocks. Wood style. Kona breaks out of it. Karma level 1. Dodge. Well, basically, he gets rid of his arm. Basically one-shots him. Yeah, it's not looking good, honestly speaking. And of course, we have previous examples of, you know, Mitsuki knocking me out with Snake Venom and even struggling in chapter. Let's even go back to chapter 2. Nah, maybe it would have been chapter 3. Let's see. Alright. So I'm trying to remember, does he actually, he has to go, well, out of frustration he goes karma level 1 to get rid of it. So really and truly right now it's looking more like a situation where maybe like how Delta was saying it in chapter 9. It could be a situation similar to like Shippuden, where of course we know Naruto trained, but it's like a Sasuke situation where it's like Sasuke made so much more progress in comparison to Naruto that it just doesn't seem like this man was doing anything at all, honestly. And it doesn't look good because of course we're coming from pre-time skip, we're at the end where like from a power scaling standpoint it's like outside of Daemon, like Kawaki was like the top dog, honestly. Like, you know, Ishiki 2.0, like nobody in the village can stand up to him, not even the 7th, all that jazz and blues. And then it's like the man just got downgraded like so many different levels. It's actually crazy. Now I think what's interesting is that with Kawaki in this situation, no, it's kind of like he's, I don't want to say he's like in a desperate situation, but it's kind of going to that direction right now, I would say. And I think a character like his, even though it wasn't intentional in terms of the omnipotence, that was definitely one situation where, you know, his desperation was showing, and you know that kind of changed the face of the story, the direction of the story, like in more ways than one. It's interesting being in this situation, and I think him being in this situation is going to lead to him becoming somewhat desperate and doing something that will again change the direction of the story. Now, don't get me wrong, of course, based on where Kawaki is right now, he's obviously not going to stay there logically, even if we didn't know about the flash forward. And using the flash forward, naturally he's fighting Boruto, so obviously Kawaki is going to improve naturally, so there's that. But it's just interesting to see him in this position. Now the next thing that's interesting to see, which is going to lead me into like my next major talking point, is the fact that of course he has the information in terms of the sentient Shinju. Of course he knows they're attacking the village, but despite the fact that Boruto is there, despite all of that fact, Boruto is there, and he chooses to set his focus on Boruto instead, which I find to be interesting, which I think kind of says to me that he's willing to forsake the safety of the village for his goal of taking out Boruto, even though I know so all things Shibai in heaven, he knows that Boruto would be more than willing to help out, essentially. So his potential desperate nature and the fact that he seems to be willing to forsake the village for the sake of, you know, taking out Boruto, I wouldn't be surprised if this recent observation of his in terms of Boruto not being able to control his karma is going to make him do something in the presence of Boruto to bring out Momoshiki to further prove his point that Boruto needs to be taken out. And it's definitely going to be a douche move, I'm not going to lie, more than likely. So yeah, but that does lead into the question of, or the whole, you know, high possibility of Momoshiki actually coming back into the story. And obviously that has to be the case. A character like Momoshiki, too important. It's like going into Shippuden, it's like, oh, we haven't seen the Nine Tails yet, are we gonna ever see him again? Like, oh, that's an obvious question. Momoshiki is too big of a character, and obviously it's this whole quote-unquote story beat or arc of Boruto not being able to control his karma is going to be like a big thing, more than likely. So I wouldn't be surprised in this confrontation with Juro and Hidari if Kawaki comes in, activates his karma like a douche, knowing that Boruto can't control this, and Momoshiki somehow, you know, takes control of Boruto's body, more than likely, which is going to be very disastrous if you ask me. Now, I was reasoning with a friend offline after this chapter, which I usually do. Siddiqui, shout out to you, man. And one of the interesting things that we pointed out is that if we even go back to pre-time skip, hold on, let's put that up. So Boruto chapter, I don't know, 66, 65, and where did I? Let's see. Now let's go back. All these damn ads. 65, or maybe even 64. So the interesting thing that we were saying essentially is that, yo, Boruto here essentially using karma stage 2. Let me just kind of scroll down. Can't bother with the age of wisdom foolishness with Naruto. Madness, bro. Boruto versus Code. 65. Alright, so basically proper stage 2 Borushiki essentially, right? And what was interesting is that even though Boruto, after essentially tapping into the true essence of karma and all of that, and was you know fighting on par if not overwhelming suppressed Code just a bit, like Momoshiki took that Boruto and made him feel like such an overwhelming presence when it came on to that fight against Code in the forest. And honestly, when I think about it, if Momoshiki gets control of Boruto's body at this point, the Boruto who is essentially more or less him, with 18%, 18 to 6, or 16 to 18% his unique Otsutsuki, genetics, that interesting mix, the potential of himself that actually trained with Sasuke for 3 years. Listen, if Momoshiki takes over this man's body right now, fam, listen. it's not going to be pretty, honestly. And right now, if Kawaki wants to prove his point, or wants to just showcase and make a bigger argument for why Boruto needs to be taken out, then honestly, Momoshiki taking over his body is like the best thing that's going to happen for Kawaki. And as I said, if what Kawaki showed in this chapter is anything to go on, really and truly, it's not outside his character to do something to probably intentionally bring out Momoshiki to prove something like that. Honestly speaking, this man is, I think, willing to really just forsake the safety of everybody else in the village just to accomplish his goals of taking out Boruto, and if he can get a bigger argument to bring people to the side to why Boruto needs to be taken out, then I don't see why he wouldn't do it, honestly. So I think that is essentially what is going to happen in a three-way between Boruto, Kawaki, and Jura/Hidari. But of course, the interesting part is that we'll get to get an appreciation, I get to find out like just the nuance of Boruto and Momoshiki's dynamic. Probably have a flashback for why Boruto hasn't been using karma. Maybe he has his own Four Tails Jiraiya situation, or flashback for why he's not using karma. Probably that more like will be the case. And of course, we'll at least have another narrative thread, another mini sub arc of similar to like, oh, Naruto's on his way to his path to control the Nine Tails, get Sage mode, Kyuubi chakra mode. We'll have that, a sense of progression for Boruto to achieve, because despite Boruto being that character since the time skip, being that Sasuke-esque character in terms of his progress in comparison to everybody else, I think going into chapter 10, 11, or just going into volume 3 for Two Blue Vortex, having Boruto having that chink in his armor, a bit of, how should I put it, susceptibility, or there is some weakness, something that doesn't make his character seem as, I wouldn't say perfect, but unbeatable. Some kind of struggle that he's going through. I mean, apart from his whole life being twisted upside down, but I think he's taking that fine, if I'm being quite honest. But something for him to essentially work towards, some kind of narrative arc, some obstacle for him to overcome, and to, I think for us the viewers to get more information or more appreciation for whatever he's trying to master, overcome. It is dynamic with Momoshiki. Having Kawaki do a douche move to bring out Momoshiki would be I think the best thing, and I think it plays well with the pacing that Kishimoto has been establishing with these chapters so far. It feels like we're just like, every chapter just seems to be going and going and going and going. We're not really slowing down the pacing, but at the same time it's very engaging, so I think that would do us well. And of course, see Momoshiki again, fam. Just have this man come out and just start presence. As I said, Momoshiki I don't think has been like the best character when it comes on to like part 3 and part 4 here, Boruto, Naruto Next Generations and Two Blue Vortex, but I think ever since the forest, and even go back to my review and my live reaction for chapters 65, 66, 67 pre-time skip, I was praising how Momoshiki just seemingly had a different level of presence, on-screen presence and engagement, from like providing that kind of engagement for us the audience, compared to when he was in his own body and everything. And I think seeing Momoshiki again is just that additional spice the manga needs right now. And I think needs a strong word, but it definitely could benefit from it, honestly. Hey Millennium Kage, what's up? Yeah, Kage's definitely gonna intentionally set Boruto's karma off. Yeah, anyone should do some Sukuna type damage to the village and Boruto. Yeah, give him that that Yuji treatment, that Shibuya art type of treatment, I think that would be good too. Because as I said, yeah, Boruto seems very, for the most part, you would say he has everything under control. Not true, but I think having him have some obstacle or something to shake his character, I think would be for the benefit. So I think that would be good. So I would agree with that. The Sukuna comparison is right on spot. And of course, it would do well to continue to build Momoshiki's character, honestly speaking. So definitely that. So there's that. Now outside of that, of course, there is also the big topic of Himawari that I wanted to talk about, which is of course last chapter, the revelation that she is the new Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Of course, we don't have any details in terms of how this happened just yet, and of course there's a million and one questions. But in terms of discussing the nuance of it, I was discussing with a friend Siddiqui that while this is interesting and her having Kurama and all that jazz and blues is nice and all, but I think I don't want to say this is a distraction, but I think there's more to Himawari and her latent potential than just this. And I think everybody at this point more than has done a video on it or has thought about it or something. Because think about it, like Damon rushing out pre-time skip to say like, yo fam, no man, something about you too bad. Like, do you really think it's just because of a juvenile Kurama? Kurama is just, that's the only reason, that's the source of her hidden potential, her latent ability? I think this is like a pseudo distraction for a bigger picture that Kishimoto is trying to push when it comes on to Himawari. Because you're telling me Damon's in the village and you have Naruto, you have Sasuke, you have all these strong characters who you could probably scale to Kurama to a degree, and Damon's like freaking out about Himawari. Fam, this is the same guy that's, you know, stronger than Code, stronger than basically everybody essentially, and you know, the same Code that surpassed Jigen, the same Jigen that beat Naruto and Sasuke. You know, it's not adding up. So obviously when you do the math, there has to be more to Himawari's hidden potential than just this Kurama, just being the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. It has to be more than that. Well, we hit the genetic lottery, so there's definitely more to play than Nine Tails. Yeah, exactly. Of course, yeah, it could be that genetic lottery where it's the combination of all these different things that's producing maybe like a next, you know, like how they would portray things when Naruto just got QB chakra mode, where he's kind of like, oh, his chakra, and then you can have Kurama's chakra shelved somewhere else. Maybe that genetic combination is kind of producing some latent or special type of chakra stored somewhere else in Himawari. Maybe, just maybe. But yeah, obviously it can't just be Kurama alone. But I am interested to see where this is going to go. I kind of like how all these different tidbits, apart from the fact that Naruto is obviously is still alive, but I like how it still feels like you're keeping Naruto himself relevant. But I'm interested to see if, by whatever means she got it, if it's also a factor that's contributing or is something that has affected Boruto as well. Even though I doubt it, because Boruto himself was kind of surprised to hear about the Nine Tails, so maybe it's something that he himself hasn't necessarily received in any shape or form either, more than likely. And obviously based on how Kurama died, we don't get the impression that he snuck anything under the table to make sure he could have been revived. Because the thing is, I've always interpreted like the whole Baryon mode thing as a different type of death than the like compared to how Tail Beast would die before, whether it be the Jinchuriki, him or herself dying and then the Tail Beast dying with it. I didn't really interpret Baryon mode and Kurama dying via that as the same type of death, because they said his chakra was converted to, like, obviously manga readers will know because I don't think they include the whole nuclear fission line in the anime, but his chakra was essentially converted to something else and then burnt up. So I thought there was not necessarily any way for Kurama to come back. So I'm kind of really curious how Kishimoto is going to do the explanation for this one. Of course, you could say the whole, okay, during, you know, childbirth, whatever, maybe chakra from Kurama passed on to them. You could say that, but enough to the point where like Himawari could become a Jinchuriki herself. I don't know. That seems a bit of a stretch. So I'm hoping he comes with a really decent explanation for, you know, how this was possible. Because it's not, I say it's more or less a big distraction, but I'm really curious to see how it all plays out. And then there's a question is of, given everything with Kawaki and Boruto, I think I would wager that everything is ripe or set up for Juro and Hidari to actually kidnap Himawari. But there could be a case where they do spare her and not necessarily consume her, probably with this Kurama dialoguing and talking with Juro and Hidari. That could be the case. That could be it. And of course it could set off a Himawari rescue arc, probably, or maybe not necessarily. Could be. Yo, Bio, what's up? As a Kawaki fan, I gotta say I take serious offense to that title. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Like, yo, but you have to admit the Kawaki stocks are completely down right now. I mean, to be fair, if you're just joining, I did say in the whole Kawaki segment that, of course, based on the flash forward, naturally Kawaki stocks are going to go back up at some point. And of course, Kawaki is still one of the best characters in the whole Boruto era, and he contributed to, you know, a lot of persons getting very engaged with the story once he was introduced in the manga and the anime and all of that jazz and blues. But for right now, we're kind of just making some, you know, some fun, man. so just bear with me. So that's basically it. But yo, yeah, like, I don't know. Given the nature of Juro and Hidari, I don't know if I'm kind of 50-50 on like a Himawari rescue arc per se. But I do see her getting captured, but her life being spared with Kurama talking to the Ten Tails, you know, kind of dialoguing and, you know, buying them some time. Stuff like the Go and Boruto, and I think Juro is gonna be the parallel to Piccolo. Himawari is gonna be the key to open up his heart and emotions. Ah, yeah, that's an interesting parallel, because of course, based on how these Ten Tails are set, their story arcs can go in any direction. They don't have to necessarily be evil per se, so that could be the case. Yeah, I was saying that I made that comparison where it's like Bio that. It could be a situation where maybe Kawaki did train, but it's similar to that Shippuden situation where Naruto trained as well, but Sasuke made so much more progress. It just seemed like, yo, this man never did anything. So yeah, I did bring that up as well. I did. So no pressure. I covered all my bases. Don't worry. So yeah. Oh yeah, there was another point I was gonna bring up, but I'm kind of wondering if putting the fact that we had Boruto and Kashin Koji in a Orochimaru base, right? If things play out the way that a lot of us are expecting, and Momoshiki, like Kawaki stirs up things and Momoshiki comes out, and Kawaki has a bigger point or more persons on his side for why Boruto needs to be taken out and all that jazz and blues, I'm wondering if after all that's said and done and the initial big battle in the village is over, if this will be incentive for Kishimoto to bring in Orochimaru. I think that would be a good thing, because obviously it feels like Kishimoto is teasing that with the base. And of course, I know a lot of persons, myself included, wanted Kashin Koji to have that interaction with Orochimaru. Given that, you know, clone of Jiraiya, so I think it would be interesting and very. Yo, I mean, the nature of the character speaks for itself. I don't have to give no long explanation. It's a clone of Jiraiya and Orochimaru. Orochimaru in the Boruto era, who's gone through so many like mental changes in terms of his outlook. So yeah, I don't see why not. So I'm thinking having Himawari kidnapped and Momoshiki returning, rampaging like Sukuna. Kawaki gets a little, you know, little plus in his book, quote unquote. Boruto is put in a situation where he has that narrative arc of overcoming the karma and Momoshiki. Orochimaru can come in and they can finally bring back that point about comparing it to the Byakugo seal. I think that would be nice. I know, again, I've said it before, yeah, Boruto has, the manga-wise specifically, a certain close-knit group of characters that, you know, they've been focusing on. But if it's even just Orochimaru, especially with this tease of the beast, fam, come on, just bring the man in. Come on. I think one got stronger narrative by aging, but he definitely didn't train as much as Boruto. He's still using the same attacks and isn't being innovative. Yeah, true. But, and you know, I don't think it's gonna be like a Dragon Ball Super, but all things considered, I don't think Kawaki would have to take very long in terms of training per se to really like catch up. Because I would dare to say that Ishiki should have much more potential than Momoshiki, right? Because I mean, think about it. We have Boruto, who's what, 82% Momoshiki or 84, and then 16 to 18% his own unique Otsutsuki DNA, and he took that and trained it, which in 3 years, arguably, even while not fighting at full power, using and not even using all of his abilities, he is somewhere between Jigen and Ishiki, you would say, probably, give or take. So I think, all things considered, Kawaki probably might not have to take very long to necessarily catch up, per se. And of course, naturally, there is the true essence of karma, so you can definitely tap into that potential at some point. But it does have me questioning why he hasn't been using his stage 2 karma. Like, why has he been using the horn? Like, come on, fam. So, there's that. So there's a bit of questions when it comes on to the karma usage, right? So, yeah, definitely that. Definitely that. Can't believe we're going into May already. It's actually crazy. But I mean, if you guys, if Kawaki were to catch up, do you think like a 6-month time skip would be a nice way for him to catch up? I think that would be somewhat adequate, with some assistance from Amado, having some type of input here and there. Yo, Paradox, wagwan, man. I think 6 months of training, some input from Amado, or some decent input from Amado in some shape or form, I think Kawaki will be ripe for catching up. A whole year? I mean, a year works too. I wouldn't be against that. It makes it more believable, right? Yeah, I guess Kawaki's 1 year, plus Ishiki's higher potential, plus some help from Amado. Yeah, I could see that. He can activate the horn state at will. Both times it was due to Momo's sheer distress. It's not possible you can do it. And while it's possible you can do it willingly, there's more evidence for the former. You know, let me see. Yeah, so the first time it was, you know, when Ishiki was kind of threatening Naruto's life at his house. And then the next one would have been when he was protecting Naruto from Boroshiki's giant Rasengan. So yeah, you could be onto something there, Millennium. Yeah, that's a fair point. And I guess that would tie into the whole desire for what Amado was saying pre-time skip. I'm trying to remember at what point when he was saying to Shikamaru in terms of having Boruto and Kawaki get stronger with the karma and everything. So that could definitely tie into the case. Because even thinking about it, even with Boruto kind of tapping more into the true essence or the true power of karma when he was fighting Code, he kind of entered like a level 2 state, but not fully, because he didn't really get the horn until Momoshiki took over. So yeah, could be the case. Could be the case for real. So there's that. But as I was saying before, I'm a big fan of the idea of having Orochimaru come in this point. I mean, I've said in the past that narratively or thematically speaking, with the nature of these Ten Tails and Kashin Koji and the dynamic that they could have, the interactions with Orochimaru and the themes of science and all that, Orochimaru is like one of the perfect, like the best characters, like from the previous generations, to really involve in all of this essentially, and especially with Mitsuki seemingly going on like his own narrative arc as well. It would be nice to have Orochimaru somewhat involved and have a little arc of his own when it comes on to that. I think introducing one character like that and even tying it back to, as I was saying, the Byakugo seal statement in pre-time skip, which is something they removed from the anime, I think would make perfect sense. And I don't think it would kill the pacing or slow it down too much, because I think the pacing right now is like every chapter is just on and on and on and on in a good way. So I don't know, how do you guys feel about like having Orochimaru introduced? And then there's also the question of, depending on how all of this turns out, one of the, I guess, somewhat the most consistently recurring characters in Boruto's class, the Inoshika Cho trio, how are they going to take all that's happening in Konoha right now? Because if Momoshiki rampages, if Boruto's seen as more of a threat, do they support Kawaki's cause more? Will they be some of the characters that supports Kawaki's cause even more? That's the next question, you know. And then what kind of position does that put Shikamaru in? Does he have to accept the Hokage, the Ito Kage title, like officially? You know, things like that. And then of course after that, even though I know we don't really focus or show a lot of the other villages here in the manga, like having Konoha, like a large portion of Konoha just wiped out by Momoshiki, argument's sake, like what did the other villages do? What did they say? Granted, the other villages being involved in comparison to just reintroducing Orochimaru might be a bit of a stretch, but it would make sense. Orochimaru's inclusion changes everything. If it's anyone with answers and curiosity, it's him. Do you think he's immune or found a way around omnipotence? One, it could be my opinion on that is one of two things. Is either one, he hasn't found a way around it, but similar to Amado, as a scientist, he has certain things or certain markers that say, oh, probably my memory has been affected. Yeah, so it could be a similar situation like Amado. Or two, maybe, just maybe, if if Kashin Kojin and Boruto have been kind of in and out from like Orochimaru here and there, I wouldn't be surprised if Orochimaru has somehow taken samples from Boruto and incorporated it in some experimental, like some reverse omnipotence, because of course omnipotence doesn't affect Otsutsuki, but I don't know if it's including, hypothetically speaking, Otsutsuki cells into yourself after the fact. Would it reverse it? I don't know, but that could be a thing. Who knows? That's why Sasuke told him what he thought, and Orochimaru trusts Sasuke's words. That could be the easy answer too, just to kind of continue that whole narrative thing of Orochimaru like following Sasuke's path or believing in Sasuke at this point. So it could be that, or he just doesn't care, which would kind of line with the whole Amado thing. Like, yeah, he realizes, but it's like whatever to him, honestly. He finds it interesting. So there's definitely that as well. But I just need to see him, man. It's just the story can benefit from it. It's interesting. It's just like so many different things are going on, honestly. And honestly, with all things considered, this makes me kind of want to talk about the anime for just a bit. There's a potential of the anime once it comes back. I want you, like, just to kind of gauge you guys' thoughts and desires when it comes on to that, because of course I've been hearing something. Let me see if I can find anything here. Hold on. Wasn't there something said by persons from Studio Period, however it's pronounced, regarding the quality of their series or how they approach production on things going forward at some point? If any of you guys can drop that in chat or let me know, you can let me know. But They didn't show the hideout for nothing. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And you could say the same thing about mentioning the Byakugo seal pre-time skip. It must be drawn on at some point. Granted, anime continuity wise, they they dropped that plot point, but I think that's too huge of a plot point to drop, and they should bring it back. But anyway, the point is, when the anime comes back, right? Which I know I had my bets. I personally had my bets placed on, like, say, April 2025, but you know, some persons would think longer than that. Yeah, okay, so you heard about it too, so I'm not going crazy. So they have one major arc left in the grand scheme of things, which is basically adapting chapters 69 or 68 to chapter 80. And of course, I think I did hear something about them doing like an original arc with Sarada so she could get her 3 Tomoe in that continuity, and probably an arc with Sasuke and Boruto, something along the lines of that. If anybody can remind me of that, you can let me know. I don't know if there was like an official article in terms of the details of that on the official Naruto website, apart from, you know, they're working on Boruto part 2 anime wise. But the thing is, I'm thinking is that if they're approaching things differently in terms of the quality, I don't know if that means they're going to make it seasonal, or but that fact combined with if they approach it and not let their original arcs draw too much, say they come back and they have the whole thing with Sarada be, I don't know, 6 episodes, and then they put a lot of quality in, say if they do like a Boruto Sasuke arc, like pre-TBV Boruto Sasuke arc, and put a lot of quality in it, I think they have things set up to draw a lot of eyes. But I'm also thinking that maybe it wouldn't be the best to show too much in a pre-Boruto Sasuke 2 Blue Vortex arc, because a lot of those extended flashbacks could come once they start doing 2 Blue Vortex. You know, like Boruto ends, part of the surprise of him coming in and showing off against Ko is the fact that we didn't really know what happened in between that time, you know. I think that's part of the charm. So I don't think they should reveal too much details in a pre-Boruto Sasuke 2 Blue Vortex, getting tongue twisted here, 2 Blue Vortex arc. So yeah. But if they do it right and say 6 episodes Sarada, 6 episodes Boruto and Sasuke, and they take like a little break, because probably by that time, say if they do it like, I don't know, 2026, there should be a decent amount of 2 Blue Vortex content for them to actually adapt. So say they do those episodes and they still have to adapt chapter 68 to 70, or even if they do this Sarada thing and then go up to adapting chapters, you know, 68 to 80, that could actually just be one Boruto season, actually. And if they do just a little additional material, like how they kind of expanded things with, you know, the canon manga arcs in the anime, yeah, they could really piece themselves and really pouring a lot of quality there, right? If we get episode 189 6 quality episodes, then I'll lower the weight. Yeah, because really and truly, if you do that with the Sarada episodes and then the Omnipotence arc, have that as one season, and then probably you, similar to like how you'd have the Mojina Bandits going into actually adapting Mojina Bandits, or the Kara activation going into the actual Kara, but you just do that on a small, extremely smaller scale. Because one of the things we have to avoid, from my perspective at least, going into like a Boruto Part 2 anime, you have to avoid the whole, oh, these arcs aren't bad, but they feel dragged out and detract from the story, feeling like it's really going anywhere in the grand scheme of things. You can't drag it out too much. So if we're even going to say like, oh, we do 4 episodes of pre 2 Blue Vortex, or, you know, include them in a 2 Blue Vortex, you know, adaptation, like, yeah, 4 episodes dedicated to pre-time skip
are in that in between spot with Boruto and Sasuke, I think it's fine. And then you kind of have things pieced out where, okay, you have the Sarada thing, and up to chapter 80 as one season. You have maybe how do you guys feel about, like, say, 2 Boruto 2 Blue Vortex volumes and some additional episodes to kind of flesh out stuff as like a season going forward? 12 episodes should be fine. Maybe I'm at the max man in the manga. 6. Yeah. We're doing from 68 to 80. And then based on pacing, you could basically adapt 1 episode per chapter. Just thinking about at this point. Yeah, that's basically, we're just thinking aloud. Honestly. So yeah, you could do like 12 episodes from 68 to 80, and then if we're fleshing out things just a bit more, yeah, you could add some more episodes to that, and sell that as a season. And then you start 2 Blue Vortex, and I think starting 2 Blue Vortex, but so as to not necessarily ruin the surprise of Boruto coming back as Teen Boruto and all of that. The episodes are the runtime of content you would have done for like a Boruto and Sasuke, like pre 2 Blue Vortex arc. You include that in the 2 Blue Vortex adaptation, just not to ruin the surprise and the quote-unquote shock factor of seeing the time skip characters and their designs and everything. But then again, I guess they'll do it appropriately, so to speak. But even looking on like Manga Plus, right? I don't know if it is like how legitimate it is, but even looking at things, the fact that 2 Blue Vortex consistently ranks #1 on Manga Plus, I don't know if that's sufficient indication that once the anime comes back, it's going to really come back with a bang if they really approach it the way that we're kind of discussing it here. That's the next thing too. I'm kind of interested in terms of the comments on Manga Plus regarding this last chapter too. Those side notes. Uzumaki siblings going crazy. Can't wait for Momoshiki. Krishna creating another masterpiece. Kurama back, baby, let's go. It's gonna be a good villain in Boruto. Peak Kishimoto Sensei. It just seems like 2 Blue Vortex is getting some positive reception. So 2 months ago I started watching Boruto, and a few days ago I finished all the 293 episodes. I can't wait any longer for the next chapter. That's why I started reading the continuation in manga. And now, just like you guys, I'm already updated to the latest chapter. Okay. Yeah, it seems like overall good reception to it. Boruto Sasuke art would be great as an OVA, and you could end it with Boruto taking Sasuke's sword. That would be spoilers of the mystery surrounding him at the start of 2 Blue Vortex. Hey, Metroid! If that's how it's pronounced. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Millennium Kage, because I'm kind of thinking about it from more so the shock factor, the wow factor, like, Boruto, Sasuke's sword coming in, questions, just kind of frame it in terms of having the audience ask questions, because of course, even though I think a lot of persons who probably gave up on Boruto via the anime, it seems, for example, like Roger's Base, or I think even Super Mecha Frieza, Jamie Ewing, however her current YouTube name is pronounced. Like, I think those 2 are like the biggest examples I can think of persons who are, currently reading the Boruto manga and just giving it another shot, and they seem to be loving it or enjoying it. So pretty much that, honestly. So, but yeah, I guess with that in mind, maybe if they do the whole Boruto Sasuke thing, more persons reading the manga, it's like, won't really kill it for them. But I still think a lot of persons will be coming in and they'll be anime only. Because obviously going into Boruto Part 2, Period doing more work or changing their approach, marketing wise, you'd expect Boruto Part 2 to have a crazy marketing campaign, honestly. Especially since at the end of Boruto Part 1, of course, a lot of us were complaining that, you know, animation wise, it wasn't the hottest. So, yeah. Is Kawaki justified? Like, I can empathize with him, but I wouldn't say he's justified. But him being justified or not, his actions do make the story engaging and creates conflict. So that's nice. Keeping up with the Uzumakis, essentially. Kawaki fanboys cry more. Millennium. It's crazy. My audio? It's only in the right ear. Hold on. Not strange. So I guess it's not giving that stereo effect, I suppose. It does seem like it is set for that. That's strange. Well, let's check a quick setting there. Hold on. Audio. Outputs. I can't really change that while the stream is going on. I'm not sure why it's just if you're getting it in just your right ear. That's strange. I have no idea why. My Kawaki stocks are at an all-time low, but have faith online. I just gotta take the hit. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned that to even Millennium Kage that was here because he's a Kawaki fan as well. That obviously, even though we're making fun, well, a lot of persons are making fun of him right now. The flash forward, if nothing else, the flash forward tells you that the stocks are going to be up again at some point because he's fighting Boruto and he's not getting one shot clearly. So obviously Kawaki is going to improve. So that's really and truly what it comes down to. And as I said, there is a silver lining to the fact that his stocks being low will create desperation in the character, and with that desperation is going to cause him to do something stupid, which is going to create engagement and more conflict. It might be a douchey move, bringing out Momoshiki, but I mean, it's Kawaki. You know, it should be interesting to see with Momoshiki and what kind of words he'll have for Kawaki after all this time. But you know, even talking about that again now, I'm wondering, obviously Momoshiki's grand plan would be like to make sure that Boruto, you know, despairs, sacrifice Kawaki to the god tree, etc, etc. But I'm wondering, as time goes on, if more nuance will be there when it comes on to Momoshiki and his goals and all that jazz and blues. So that will be interesting to see as the story goes on as well. Gotta think about that. Hold on, if I enable this, I guess I would have to turn off. Well, though, and Boruto being the one to easily beat him is what's going to jumpstart the change.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Amado after all of this at some point, or starts that training. Because yeah, like I was saying, I was suggesting 6 months, but you know, as Paradox was suggesting, maybe a year would be better. And that fact with Ishiki's potential, I think, and help from Amado, I think Kawaki can catch up in a non-bullshit-ish way. Wait, what's up? Wait, Arashikage, I'm here, man. I'm actually kind of hungry, to be to be honest. Got home late, and boy, oh boy, like, left work late. A lot of changes going on there at work. Got home late. Usually I would have done the thumbnail and set up the stream from in the day while I'm at work, but got caught up. So yeah, and then the monitor issues I was having to end of month subscriber streams ago. I'm realizing I think the problem is because of OBS, actually, because all months I have no issue with my monitor, my bigger one on the right, giving issue, but it's only when I start OBS that it starts going black. Granted, the strange part is, as I was saying before, is that even though the monitor is black here and it's on, plugged in VGA to HDMI, it's black, but in OBS, funny enough, I can change the screen to it, and that what you're seeing now is my right monitor, but I can't see it. And if I were to close OBS, give it like probably 30 seconds and just unplug and replug, shows. So I don't know, there's something with OBS, or I don't know if it's drivers. I don't know. I don't know, because I even updated my graphics drivers even before the stream, and it's the same thing. So I don't know, something is going on with OBS and this monitor here, but yeah. No, actually, you know, so we haven't been getting, but yeah, I mean, no, rain didn't even fall today. Like, no, it's just meetings and stuff with my director and thing. Got a new director, so talking in terms of workload, and they're getting the lay of the land in terms of things at work, and kind of discussing in terms of locations for me to go back and forth from, all that jazz and blues, and yeah, basically that, just work meeting essentially. So basically that. But yeah, the Arashikage, been talking about quite a bit. I started talking about Kawaki in terms of his stocks being down and what that's going to lead to, with Momoshiki coming back and how that's going to affect the story, and Boruto and his narrative arc, and Himawari and the nuances of that, and how Kurama is kind of like a pseudo distraction because Kurama alone can't explain her hidden potential. Case in point, Damon being like, yo dog, it's impossible, she's unbeatable, you see me? It has to be more than Kurama why Damon's reacting like that pre-time skip to Himawari. Of course, we talked about Orochimaru and him coming back and how that can affect the story, a bunch of things essentially. So there's that. Apart from Metroid was saying in terms of the audio being in the right, the music that's playing isn't really too distracting, it's not too loud, it's alright for everybody else. Just let me know. Let me know. But oh yeah, we did talk about in terms of the structure and things when it comes on to the Boruto anime returning and thing, and how, you know, we could just really attract a new set of fans too. But you know what's going to be interesting with Boruto coming back anime wise, right? And I know we've discussed this before too. A genuine full-fledged Boruto game. Listen, Storm Connections is
is that thing. And it might be the platform for Naruto games for a little while. Maybe for a while. Because I imagine DLC is going to be like a crazy thing when it comes down to that. But I think having a genuine Boruto game at some point might be a thing, depending on how reception to Boruto Anime Part 2 goes once it comes back. But that being considered, you have to I mean, you have to think that we probably wouldn't see something like that until maybe 2028. Who knows? But I think it's time for like not a full-fledged Naruto game, honestly. And you know, depending on how Boruto does once it comes back, yeah. God, you know. Ooh, interesting. You have this guy on here saying in the comment section for Manga Plus for this latest chapter. He was saying, I think if Boruto's karma activates, he may not lose control of the body to Momoshiki, but he may lose control over his powers because it's too strong. Just a theory, I guess. Well, it should be okay, but I think Momoshiki taking over his body would be the more beneficial thing to the story. And oh yes, speaking about Sarada versus Jubi Sasuke, the matter of Sarada versus Hidari potentially for next chapter, or maybe going towards the end of next chapter, or even chapter 11. I mean, I'm kind of wondering how that's going to go. I would imagine that we'll get to see Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan again, if not a hint of her ability, and how that's going to affect the playing field going forward as well. I think that would make sense, because again you have Inashika Cho, which were no match, but all in all, a good hacks ability can even the playing field sometimes, right? So I think getting to see that would be nice. Yeah, would be so dope. Yeah, it would be, because I mean, it's been since 2016 since Boruto started, like in terms of it being a series, and with the current state of things, the fact that we don't have a Boruto game, or we still have to, of course the name Naruto itself still carries most of the weight, objectively speaking, so we still have to fall back on it. But again, if things really heat up in terms of reception, again, if Period and the powers that be play their cards right and reception is good, and we don't have the Boruto anime part 1 dilemma affecting things, I think that's going to be incentive for them to say, okay, we can probably still have it called titled Naruto Boruto, but at least the Boruto aspects probably can be pushed a bit more to make it feel more like, okay, this is a genuine Boruto game, you know? So there's that. And of course, if we're talking about, say, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, where probably in terms of, again, gaming capability, technology is always improving, probably in terms of features, functionality, and just even combat mechanics, things are going to be looking crazy good when it comes down to like a future Naruto Boruto game like that. So I'm just saying, it's a win-win. It's a win-win, fam, honestly. Win-win. Team 10 and respect. Boruto better greater than sleepwalking. Bro, you see, it's not just me. Yeah, the people just clowning on the man. But yo, again, I know you guys were saying it, I think it was the last stream, but wasn't there the whole thing of Kishimoto going out to make some statements in public? Did anything come of that? Or has the date gone already or just not come yet when Kishimoto is supposed to talk in public or something like that? Guys, let me know. Because I would love to know if I'm actually missing that. I don't recall hearing any official news or statements. You would think I would have heard it on Twitter or something by now. Or X. It's not like there's any news. Well, you know, funny enough, like sometimes the person's on Twitter/X, you know, they get the news faster. They put it out faster on the official Naruto website. You know, as I see this, does anyone here actually play Shinobi Striker, dog? Like, it never really appealed to me, dog. Like, I don't know. It just never did. But yeah, if you guys can let me know in terms of the whole Kishimoto talking in public thing, man, like, because I mean, I've talked about this since chapter 51, 52, going onwards. Like, it's just strange to me that this man came back and it's just basically ghost town when it comes on to him saying anything or all of that, you know. So if he's coming into the public side to say X, Y, or Z, then I would love to cover that in a video. Hold on. Let me just change this setting here. Mine's off. Mine's off. Okay, cool. Alright, started playing it a few weeks ago and stopped playing after an hour. Really appealed to me either. Yeah, it's just, yeah. But anyway, in terms of Kishimoto though, I think what they should do, and again, a lot of these points I'm reiterating from previous streams, but the point is, like, even another Naruto top 99, bro, they need to do that. Like, I think it makes sense. Just do a one shot, bro. Honestly, I can imagine, like, I mean, if you want to feel special, yeah, you can do it once a year. But then again, since he's doing it only in the form of a one shot, maybe you could do that competition like every 6 months. Have that compilation of him just doing one shots, because if it's anything, one of the consistent things you'll hear, I think, is Boruto didn't have to start yet, and there's a lot of potential in terms of storytelling, like points in the Naruto timeline where Kishimoto could have told stuff before Boruto even started. And if we have the Naruto top 99, have one shots coming up by him, like, you can do OVAs, you can do specials, you can do episodes, you know, like, coming out, and you know, can fill that animation gap until you get back into Boruto, I would say. Oh, he's going to France in August. Okay, so May, June, July. Okay, 4 months. So we'll be basically chapter 13 going to chapter 14 essentially. So yeah, okay, that's fine, that's fine. I think that's fine. But yeah, I think the more Naruto top 99s would be a definite nice thing to have. And even speaking of Storm connections, well, this is from the 21st, the last one still, so I imagine Ishiki is already playable. But yeah, have those top 99s, do them more. Hey, you have a source of content you can animate, adapt. Because yo, I really love that Minato one shot, dog. Like, just even seeing Kishimoto's art again, ugh, beautiful, bro. Beautiful. Let's pull this up a bit more. Yeah, there we go. Dang. A thought came to mind. I lost my train of thought there. What was I going to say again? Damn it. Totally forget. Totally forgot. I was going to say. Yo, man, I know man. I've totally forgotten. But I mean, any guesses what you think Kishimoto's gonna talk about? Like usually when it comes on to these talks, or I guess interviews, it kind of sometimes can be very general. But it'd be nice to hear him talk about like his involvement with Boruto, how he feels about it, where it's going to go, etc., etc. And all that jazz and blues. And what would also be interesting is, I think about 2 end of month subscriber streams ago, I did talk about like Boruto Volume 1 in terms of sales, but I don't think I've seen any updated sales either since then. Has anybody actually seen how like sales have been going? Because I don't think Volume 2 is on sale yet. I don't think so. 2 blue Vortex. List of chapters. Let's see. I guess it should still show here. Oh, okay, cool. So Volume 2 goes on sale May 2nd. Does anybody have any sales information in terms of Volume 1? Let's see. Boruto 2. As if Volume 2 is going on sale on May 2nd, which is basically 2 days from now. Or less than 48 hours. Well, probably less than that because of course time zone differences. I'm interested. Curious. February. And of course that first one was February 2nd. 2, he hasn't said anything about that. Yeah, he hasn't said anything about it at all, fam. And I mean, besides that, I don't think any other author has said anything about him returning either, so it is what it is, I suppose. Alright, I'm about sales figures. April 15, let me see. Anyway, I guess if at some point if somebody can like show or get like sales for Boruto, then could send it my way in the Discord. What's my password again? Are you human? No, I'm hungry. Okay, that's not it. Let's see, probably 2. Oh, my bad. New login detected. Please check your email. Hold on. That's over there. Okay, let me log into my email. Nope. YouTube application, verify login, login, and effort. Okay, clear my password wrong. Okay, finally got in. Alright, so at this point, it's per usual. Then you guys want to jump into the Discord. If you're tired of typing, that is. Then you can join. That is an option, of course. Link in the description. Oh my god. Just make sure so the desktop audio is turned on here. Let's see here. Okay, cool. Alright guys, so yeah, if you want to jump into Discord, if you're tired of just typing, you can do that. Jeez, my head look big on this camera. Jeez, peace. Let's see here. Well, meanwhile, I potentially wait for anybody to join. Have you guys been watching anything else though? Cause, well, you guys would know I would have recently, you know, finished the Free Reign anime. Started Kaiju number 8. Definitely, that's going good. Of course, Mushoku Tensei. And X-Men 97 has been going pretty good too. And now, funny enough, isn't Demon Slayer supposed to start this month? This coming month? Yeah, it should be this month, right? The 12th of May? Demon Slayer's Hashira training arc? Which I'm still curious how, if you're gonna stretch this entire arc to like a season or what. It is this month, right? May 12th, right? Or am I going crazy here? 4th season. Yeah, it is May 12th. So there's that to look forward to. I guess we'll see. I mean, for those of you that probably read the Demon Slayer manga, unless they're going to have the first half or quarter of this arc with the Hashira training, and then, well, they'll probably have extended material, and then the next part be the start of the final saga, final arc, essentially, the Infinity Castle. Maybe, just maybe. And then speaking of that, there is Bleach to look forward to in a few months' time. I would imagine by July, maybe? June, July? Trying to remember. I forgot all the dates, man. Yeah, my phone just died. Hold on, let me drop my phone on charge. Yeah. Alright, so there's that. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, man. Like, Demon Slayer, Bleach, Mushoku Tensei. Guys, honestly, if you haven't been watching X-Men 97, I would highly recommend it too. It's been pretty good so far. I definitely didn't watch all of the original 97's, show. I watched a few episodes, but I mean, to be honest, it was pretty good. It's a continuation, of course. And Ninja Kamui. Yeah, I already actually started. Well, you know, I read that first chapter of Kaiju number 8 on stream, but yeah, I've been watching Kaiju number 8. It's pretty good so far. Not gonna lie. So, I mean, it just feels like every season there's always a spectrum of good shows to take in. There's one that I wanted to ask you guys, especially since I haven't been doing a lot of videos this year at all. It's almost become yeah, but meh to me at this point. But kinda iffy on if I wanted to start doing more, getting back into doing more discussion videos and stuff for this month, or if I should try approaching things from. If I should try approaching things from the perspective, maybe I should start doing like just more live streams, really and truly. Maybe, just maybe. But then again, there's also the, just do whatever I want response, I suppose. I guess I'll see still. Me is me. I mean, I've been... with Demon Slayer coming up by rights, at the very least, even doing reaction reviews again should be a thing. At the very least. Wait, Millennium Kage?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I can hear you, man.
Alright. Hey, what's up, man?
Man, I'm here starving, dog.
Oh, man, I feel you.
How are you, man?
I'm doing perfectly fine, man. I'm just in here playing some Dragon Ball, Tenkaichi 3, while listening to your stream.
Good vibes, good vibes. Ready to pre-order that Sparking Zero as the pre-order becomes available.
Yo, bro. You see the new
Yeah, yeah, I checked it out.
Yeah.
Yo, I was obviously I was at work, but it's like I'm there at my desk. I'm like, wait, I'm seeing like Syriacs and Rhyme Style put out new video. Wait, new trailer? Stuff everything.
Once it comes out, I gotta drop everything. Like, I don't care if I'm at work or anything.
Bro, listen, I'm ready to pre-order, but yo, the annoying thing is like at the end of each trailer, it's like, yo, is it finally ready for pre-order? Wish list.
Yeah, that kills me. That kills me. So. But no, that is definitely my most anticipated game.
Yeah,
Thus far.
Honestly, like, I mean, I think my end of month stream I did in, I think it might have been February or January, one of the two, when I was playing Tekken. I mean, I've been enjoying Tekken 8, but like Sparking Zero, yo, bro, I'm ready. The only thing I'm hoping, well, one of the things I'm hoping is that, based on not this trailer, the previous trailer, based on how like beam clashes went, it seems like it's more of like the timing of the button. I'm hoping there's like a setting you can change it to the like the analog the analog sticks or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yo,
I've gotten so used to using an analog stick. It just feels
Bro.
weird using a button. Yo, even if I get broken thumbs afterwards,
Yo, listen, people will complain, but I think it's like acceptable, you know?
Yeah.
Telling you,
Yo, I
man.
cannot wait for this game.
Yeah, man. Yo, it's going to be crazy, man. Like
all the characters, like even now, like just all the characters you see, I'm just like, you know, I don't know, man. It's like whenever I think of the game, a lot of emotions just come up because like you take IG games, like I would say they're the best that the franchise has to offer. You know, you got your fighters, your Infinite Worlds, your Budokai.
yeah.
They're all great. But I feel like the Tenkaichi series just like perfected it, you know?
Would I agree? I know I would definitely probably agree on the point. Like, I think fans love those games the most. I'd probably go from that perspective. But honestly, I think probably because what Tenkaichi 3 released in what 2000 and what are we talking about? 8, 2007.
Hey, around that.
Yeah, so it's like it's been like what 17 years basically. So oh god. And you know, yo, I'm not gonna lie, like the crazy thing too, I think what's leading to persons really wanting Sparking Zero, and okay, probably this is just my perspective, but I'm looking at it, the fact that Xenoverse 2 is still putting out content, it's actually insane to me, brother.
Yo, they have a new DLC coming out.
Bruh.
Like,
yo, you know what would be funny? If like when Sparking Zero drops, like somebody in the management room's like, yo, Xenoverse 2 Sparking Zero DLC. No. But for that joke aside, like the fact that Xenoverse 2 is still getting like updates is actually crazy to me, fam.
no, it's crazy. And you know what? A lot of people are like, why is it getting so much support these years? I see it as a good thing. It just shows you, like, well, you know, they're nice to look at it from, you know, money.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's also a lot of fan support too as well. You know, to keep the community like that for years. And it just says a lot about the fandom, honestly. That little corner that, you know, they cater to and that support them. I think there's a lot to say for that.
Well,
It's
true.
not a ticket, but it's just wild. That game released in what, 2016?
Yeah, fam, because I remember after Xenoverse 1 and then Xenoverse 2 released, I was so excited for it, fam. I know it's what 2024 and still ongoing.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's and you know what makes it even, I wouldn't say worse, but it just hurts. With fighters, I think they stopped, you know, updating it. You know, aside from some few like game rollbacks and all that, but it definitely isn't on the same level as Xenoverse when it comes to support. And that came after Xenoverse.
Well,
So you have these games that just. What were you about to say? I'm sorry.
oh, sorry. Finish your point before I continue.
Oh no. Yeah. So I guess my overall point is you had Dragon Ball games that were released since Xenoverse 2 came out, and they've ended their runs or close to it. You know, Fighters, Kakarot. There might have been another Dragon Ball game, and that Xenoverse 2 has lived through and is still, you know, counting out content even to this day. Just
True. I think what it is, honestly, is it's more of like the sandbox for Xenoverse 2. It kind of lends to you can play with and introduce more innovative game modes as opposed to I believe Fighters or a Kakarot probably. I think that's more so it. Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe somebody could, you know, say otherwise and say, hey, no, you could actually do this for Fighters, but on the surface for me it's like, oh, you could throw in a lot of different game modes, which obviously they've been doing with Xenoverse 2. So it's kind of like the sandbox kind of just lends to, okay, we can switch these things around and package it and do a new game mode. Like outside of just DLC character, we can do these things. So I think that's it. And maybe similar to like maybe similar to like say a Boruto situation. Maybe it's a case like, oh, the anime isn't really going right now, so we're not gonna really jump to say Xenoverse 3, you know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I mean, the game is basically Xenoverse 3 at this point, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I agree with what you've been saying. I agree. Yeah, you make a really good point. Like there hasn't been any, like same as Boruto or Dragon Ball, there really hasn't been any new content. I mean, if you exclude the movies, of course.
Well, yeah,
Dragon
yeah.
Ball Super's been over for what? Ended in 2018, I'm sure. Right before the Bully movie. And it's like 5 years after. So yeah. It's just been a long time.
Yeah, man, I don't know where the time is going, but it's going somewhere, man, honestly.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But as you were saying in the chat earlier, even with your boy Kawaki, man, like what do you have to say for yourself, man? Defend yourself.
Look. Alright, so Kawaki's been my favorite character in part 1, hands down. You know, his introduction, his journey, his end, except for that omnipotence thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it right now. I may be a Kawaki stan, but he was a coward at the end of part 1. So I'll give out that. But yeah, I love the character. Part 2, like he lost me when that bashed his face into the ground. He's talking all this stuff. I'm the Osatsuki hunter, to counter days, blah blah blah, and he just gets polarized over. I don't know. He's reaching code levels. Like, don't even get me started on code.
Wait, hold on.
But yeah, this.
I don't know if it's me, but it kind of sounds like you're kind of going far from your mic and then coming back in.
Oh, my fault. I'm sorry. No, I'm talking on my phone. So,
Okay.
no, thanks for letting me know. But yeah, like I was saying, Kawaki, he's reaching code levels, which is not a good thing at all. You know, code is just in another league of his own. But you know what? I'm gonna wait this out because I feel like they're building him up. You know, there's no way that Kishimoto isn't. But it's looking rough. It's looking rough.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be rough for a while.
One started. And now I think because there's so I think his next course of action would be to set off because there were panels that just focused on his face after the fact. You know, he has that devious look.
Yeah.
But as far as how he's gonna get stronger, I'm not sure. You know, you have Amino there, but then that calls into question: would Amino even be willing to help Kawaki because of the omnipotence he knows semi-truth behind it? But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Sleepwalker, he better step his game up. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and you know, as much as was saying before, as much as Kawaki doing something to bring out Momoshiki, it's like a good and bad thing, but it's both a good thing for the story in all ways, because I know I know some kind of douchey move is going to be associated with him like doing that, you know, and people are going to be looking at him sideways, like from the fan perspective, but it's going to like benefit the story in terms of the conflict and all of that. But like I can just see it now, fam, like him bringing out Momoshiki and then, you know, the village gets the Sukuna treatment, you know, the Shibuya treatment, you know. Probably, yeah, you know, and then some characters really get drastically hurt, or you know, more of the Konoha defenders, you know, the no-name Jonins who should just, I don't know, quit at this point, like gets hurt.
Bro, they
And,
got packed up by the Fog, by Jura and Hidari.
bruh,
I don't know, the whole fodder team.
bro, listen,
Yeah,
I'm surprised. There must be somebody on the internet at this point that has some parody, most of like when Konoha Village gets attacked, like something.
there has to.
Yo, because listen to
They
me.
get attacked every Tuesday.
If I'm a Jonin fam, I'm looking at everybody else like, okay, yo, we're packing up. We're going to defend the village. I'm like, fam, listen. Everybody that has come to this village since Orochimaru in part 1 Naruto is stronger than us. Listen, this doesn't make sense. Why we just retire?
Yeah, like when have we ever succeeded?
Exactly, it doesn't make sense, fam. No, I'm not even trying to put these guys down, dog. But come on, like,
Yeah.
there's
But
no.
This is the villain hidden in the leaves, you know. We're not showing anything. Come on.
Yo,
We live in our budget too, like
bro, I would be so sick of this, brother. Like between that and just having to rebuild my house in Konoha every time, brother, it just wouldn't make sense. I would just move, dog, because this doesn't make sense. Honestly.
yeah. It's like living in Gotham City or something.
Basically. Basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yo.
We can't even walk down the street without some getting trapped in a tree or something.
Bro, it's like,
I don't know.
bro, it's like you see somebody floating in the air. It's like, ah, shit, here we go again. Yo.
There's another dang Konoha.
Sick of it, brother. Sickening.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, I just remembered something. So we're talking about Himawari and her situation with Corona,
yeah.
and it made me think, like how she has like the power beyond time and all that. So, do you remember that illustration that Kishimoto put up years ago of Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki? Sarada, she had her Sharingan from Mangekyo,
Mm-hmm.
and Mitsuki was in his Sage mode. And then he had Boruto in some sort of Kyuubi mode with both of his.
I think I vaguely remember it, but if you can find it and send it to me.
Yeah, for sure. And he had both Byakugan activated. So I was thinking that maybe instead of Boruto having that form, maybe it'll go to Himawari instead. Or something of the sort.
Let's see. Yeah, it could go that way. And you know, even by rights, similar to like even how Kawaki is using like Daikokuten and Sukuna Ikona. You would think Boruto would be able to just use his Byakugan by now.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah, like, without activating Karma.
He activates it effortlessly. Yeah. And in chapter 1, you know, seem activated. And, well, that's also opening up another can of worms.
Why would you say that? Oh, the Jogan. Listen, I am
Especially in the manga.
I am sick and tired of trying to predict when the Jogan, if it's going to even show up in the manga. Like, this is...
Yo, I forget it's a thing, to be honest.
Bro, listen. This is from... I don't know, like, maybe like even from the fight against Boro days, like I was trying to predict, oh yeah, this would be a good chapter for the Jogan to show up in the manga. Listen, I'm not even thinking about that. When it shows up, it shows up. Like, at this point, it's almost whatever to me, honestly.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. When it shows up, it shows up. I'm not stressing myself, getting into arguments on whether it's canon or not. No.
Yeah, it can't be bothered, fam. But what I would want though, like outside even Orochimaru, like even having, I know Toneri hasn't really had an appearance in the manga, but it'd be nice to even get like a inklings of him or like a showings or something.
Yeah. I mean, he's still on the moon, isn't he?
Well, I would imagine so. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting because he's the one who came up with the sort of, future for Boruto. Like it was basically a prophecy. And he hasn't made any major appearances or actions, I think, since towards the beginning of the anime, I believe. Or maybe in the middle, I can't remember.
I mean, between the first arc and I guess since he was frozen by, oh shit. I forgot that Otsutsuki's name. Remind me of his name again. The anime only Otsutsuki. Shit. Wow.
Oh, Orochimaru, right?
Yes, Urashiki. I don't think was Toneri freed when Boruto and Naruto killed Urashiki? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Hmm.
I don't think so. Or maybe they did. It's been such a long time since I last watched it.
Yeah.
Can't really remember.
I guess we'll see in time. Cause honestly, one thing at a time I suppose, but right now, Orochimaru is like my top pick in terms of having a past character show up in the manga. Honestly, like I'm kind of sick and tired of it's engaging and everything, but it just doesn't make sense to have past characters just where is everybody? Is Kakashi still at the hot springs?
Like, even the anime does what it can to some characters.
Yeah, to a
Like
degree.
Yeah. Like Kakashi's appeared, he even faced off against Koji for
Yeah, that was nice.
Konoha 11. They showed up just to get bodied by Ishiki.
The Konoha Avengers, dog. Yeah, that was ridiculous. But yeah,
it honestly is just a lack of side characters, like previous gen side characters in Naruto. They don't really play a role in the story. It's just the Naruto Sasuke so show for the majority of it.
yeah.
Even Sakura, we see her occasionally, but she doesn't really do anything, at least in the manga.
Yeah, true.
And I'm just trying to think of like other, even Cincinnati doesn't show up.
Yeah, cause like, yeah, we can't say the anime does its thing, but obviously the anime is its own continuity on some Dragon Ball Super shit, where it's like the manga and anime are two separate continuities essentially.
Right.
But it's kind of like manga wise, it's like how long should I suspend my suspend my what's how would they phrase it, suspension of belief. That the village has been attacked and all these things are going on, and Kakashi, Tsunade, other villages, and everybody's just what, chilling.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Like you're telling me this is, you see, I don't know, like we were talking about the placement of certain events bridging the gap between part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
Like, you mean to tell me that they didn't consider Kakashi to come back as Hokage during the time skip, or even Tsunade, or even we don't get reactions from the villagers or anything? It's just so weird.
Yeah, you would think that we'd have something like that, like Naruto Oats. At least show Gaara saying something. I don't know, man, something.
Yeah. Like, for all intents and purposes, Naruto was dead to the rest of them.
Exactly.
There was one, I think, was it chapter 6? This is when Shikamaru met with the elders. They mentioned Naruto supposedly killed the Hokage. But other than that, that's been the only time we've seen anyone outside of Konoha mention anything else.
Yeah, true. I mean, others, I think it's something that can definitely be touched on in the anime, but I'd feel kind of better like if I got to see even something in the manga. I mean, it doesn't have to take up. I know it's like there's only a certain amount of pages per month, and then we complain once we reach that final page. It's like, oh shit, yeah, we have to go with the next month. But you could have like a few, like just a few pages, something.
You know, yeah.
So
Like it's a visual medium for a reason, you know. It won't take that much to show us a page or two of the different village and character reactions. But who knows, you know, Two Blue Vortex has been throwing us curveballs left and right. Maybe it'll do something.
Where do you think the story is going to go though, man? Because and then I guess it's hard to say at this point, because even the matter of like what's Code even doing at this point too is the next thing. Like what is this man doing?
Yeah, he like just disappeared. Like that was his dimension that Juro and the others spawned in. So he left his own dimension and he's probably out in the woods or something. I don't know what that dude is.
It's actually crazy, man. And can we still expect like a Otsutsuki invasion maybe? I don't know. Or is that like because because
like, we don't know. No, we don't really know exactly where they're going to take the story, because there's just so many questions. If the Ten Tails is a final villain, or if Jura and the others are just, you know, will they even be villains at the end of this? What's gonna happen? Is Shibai even a thing? Is he gonna come into play? But yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah. If Shiba is gonna come into play, that's like further down, man. That's further down, honestly speaking. But you know what? Like what just came to mind too, especially with all these spin-offs and characters having tons of potential and all of that. You can imagine if like someone like Damon like trained Brita, like having Shibai's DNA and cells and all that jazz and blues. You can imagine if Damon trained that. Crazy.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. But the thing is, you know, Damon, he's gonna need a sparring.
Oh yeah, fair point.
Like really get any substantial change, because like that dude, he's just in another tier of his own. You know?
Pretty much.
You could make an argument that maybe Boruto. I don't know. Let me scratch that. Boruto isn't in the same tier as Damon, because Damon's reaction and his Usually goes like,
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you know, I was just thinking about this the other day. I was thinking that book Shinju, since he's going after Ada, he's gonna have to bump into Damon. You know, because Damon's gonna want to protect Ada. You know, Damon wants to sue him. And what I feel like he's going to end up. He's gonna have a counter, or maybe some sort of way to deal with Damon. Because I don't see him outright losing to Damon. I feel like they have something up their sleeves.
Yeah, as you even mentioned, that comes to my next question in terms of your opinion. Like, how strong do you think like Jura, Hidari, the Bug, and Matsuri are? Like, how strong do you really think? Because I'm thinking they should be in the same tier as Boruto. If they're even stronger than Boruto, I don't think it's by much. But I don't know, it feels kind of hard to say.
Yeah, their placement is a little funky, you know. First and foremost, they're stronger than Code, okay? We're gonna get that. I'm just gonna say that right now. They're stronger than Code. No, I'm just joking. Seriously, Jura. Okay, if you're gonna take it from the start, that book Shinju, he was giving Boruto. He pushed him back.
Yeah, true.
He was pushing against Boruto, but then we didn't get to see the extent of either of their abilities. But then the other Shinju jumped in, and they had the advantage as a collective. Now individually, we see that Jura, he basically two shots Kawaki, but I don't think he had his karma at the time. He did it with some relative ease. I don't even think karma would.
Hold on,
I'm sorry.
let me just double check. Because I was gonna compare that too in the sense that Boruto essentially one-shot Kawaki, and if Jura essentially one-shot Kawaki too, I basically put them one-on-one, maybe in the same tier, maybe.
Right.
Um,
Because they haven't shown us anything else that would make us consider them being of higher tier. Like, they haven't shown anything crazy.
well,
Oh, in this last chapter though, he did have Juro. He sent that tail beast bomb with his eyes.
true. Oh, and yeah, Kawaki had Karma level 1 activated when Jura one-shot him, so so
Oh, he did. Okay.
yeah, he
Thank you for
does.
clearing
Yeah.
that up. That makes it even worse. I mean, if he's doing that easily to Karma, you know what? I think it is fair to say that they're around the same tier as Boruto, like you said.
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
just assumption for me.
Because all things considered, like I know this is like a thing in like anime and all these things where we as fans do this power scaling, and so logically this character should be able to do this, or it should be stronger than that. And I honestly think a lot of
Yeah.
times the authors aren't really thinking at it to that extreme.
No.
And it kind of becomes a thing where power scaling wise, X is greater than Y, but it's like narratively wise, based on what the author is going for, maybe Y is actually stronger than X. But I'm thinking that considering like the 10 tails, like scaling things from the fourth grade ninja war, right? We could probably say this 10 tails was probably weaker than that one, and obviously a lot of characters logically would say, maybe not in terms of chakra quantity, but you could probably say a lot of characters are above the 10 tails. You could probably say that, right? And it's like,
yeah.
okay, we put Ishiki's essence via the white karma, and we have Quod's chakra as well in it. So all things considered, yeah, I guess you could put them in the same tier as Boruto, one-on-one. So yeah, I think that's acceptable. But I guess the problem just comes when one, they fight as a group, and two, all things considered, with all those things in the pots, Ishiki's essence, Quod's chakra, blood, all of that, 10 tails, new evolution, they could have certain hexes that kind of bridge the gap, even if, like, say, someone like Damon is stronger than them.
That is true. They haven't shown us their yet, and Jura and that mastery, they have Woodstone.
Yep.
So that's another thing to get. And also, with the point of them matching to individually, I just remember Hidari, he was able to bring to a standstill.
Yeah, that
with the
Zingan.
Shidori
Yeah.
uses. Yeah, that clash. So, yeah. So I guess the consensus right now is that they're on the level of Boruto, and as far as Damon, it's hard to gauge because we don't have a full look at what they have to offer.
Yeah, true. And even though I don't think this will be the case, I'm just kind of placing some stock in the fact that Damon has Shibai's cells essentially.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if he's actually pushed, or even not just Damon, but like Damon and Ada. Like if they're pushed or something drastic happens, do they potentially unlock something else courtesy of Shibai's DNA?
That is Um, yeah, that's interesting
Yeah, because you got
because
correct me if I'm wrong, because this is Shibai's DNA slash cells before. I would imagine before he ate the final chakra fruit to really like transcend. I would imagine.
yeah,
So
for sure.
so
No, yeah,
no.
with someone as broken as Shibai, they all got selective abilities from him. Like Damon with the reflective abilities, Ada with her,
Omnipotence, yeah.
yeah, omnipotence, etc. And it's interesting if you note that Damon, he has, well, we can't say if it's a jutsu, but his eyes are,
Yeah, they're pretty
special.
unique as well.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's with his reflection ability, but I wouldn't assume so because his reflection ability works with his hands. So there could be potential in him having a dojutsu as well. Because if you remember, it's like way back in the Cold War at the start. Cody tries to pry information from Damon about his abilities, and Ada interrupts him, saying that we shouldn't. She said something like we shouldn't show him, tell
Everything.
him, yeah. And I'm wondering if that included his weakness.
If there was
They
more
really
to it
do
than that.
have more abilities. Yeah, yeah,
Well, I guess we'll see. I mean,
yeah.
it's the potential is there, but I think something like that. If we're going to see something like that, it's probably only going to happen when we have the next big idea of where the story is going to go. Honestly, because
Right.
yeah, probably the Bug Shinju might have something up his sleeve, but
No, the Bug Shinju. I'm sorry for interrupting, but
yeah,
no, when he isn't he isn't a he isn't phased by Ada's clairvoyance. In fact, he sees right through it and he looks directly at her. And I was wondering if maybe he's immune or maybe he can deal with Shinjutsu easier
hmm,
because he you just don't do that. It's like watching a YouTube video, right?
yeah.
And then the person you're watching they acknowledge your existence. Like what? That's not supposed to happen. And yeah, he does a security camera, and he just like he looks her in the face, and he bypasses it. So he may be in a way able to deal with Damon Shinjutsu, but
Hmm.
that's an assumption. I'm not even 100% sure.
True.
But he's done what no other character in the series has done so far, and yeah,
And the interesting thing too is with like say Bug wanting to like consume Ada and Ada having Shibai DNA as well. I mean, what happens in a case like that? She's not an Otsutsuki, but she has Otsutsuki DNA. So,
oh
so I know it's not like a case
yeah,
like it wouldn't be like as simple and straightforward as like say consuming Sasuke and you just turn to a tree. Does that give rise to like a new type of evolution as well? Even though she's not full Otsutsuki, but she has like the most powerful Otsutsuki's DNA essentially. So what happens then?
you raise a really good point. You know, man. Okay, so I was watching Mellow stream yesterday.
Yeah.
He was talking about the fact that okay, like with the Dragon Ball similarities,
Mm-hmm.
because you know that Boruto it's been influenced a little bit by Dragon Ball,
Yeah,
especially with
definitely.
Android Cell Saga, you know. And he was saying that Damon and Ada, they're representative of 17 and 18, and that Damon he may go the Android 17 route, get cocky, but in this case, it'll lead to Ada being devoured,
Yeah.
and then you know something happens there on. So, like, if we were to say that, let's say like the book Shinju, he does devour Ada, and she has Otsutsuki cells within her. I don't think he is going to turn into a tree, but like you said, evolution of some sort.
Yeah.
Like what Mel was saying, he's like the cell, and he like absorbs data, and then mutates into something else entirely, instead of just becoming a defined tree.
Yeah. Gosh, it would only make sense. I mean, yo, listen to me. There's so many things that work here. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, I think that would be a good way to devour someone and not it being a world-ending threat. Although, they were talking about devouring Konohamaru, Sarada, who aren't Otsutsuki's, but yeah, Juro, he saved Kawaki for later, because he doesn't want to end the world prematurely.
Yeah,
Before he has a chance to explain.
Him and Hidari on the keeping up with Juro and Hidari.
Yeah, oh man, I love that duo.
It's crazy.
But yeah, what was I about to say? Yeah, that also. I was listening to the stream. I also thought of something. Like, what if they devour? Like, what if devour doesn't mean instant death? Because that's how I've been interpreting it all this time. Like, if they were to devour someone, they just die. I was just thinking that maybe it's something like self-absorption. Like, they devoured a person,
Yeah,
but they don't actually kill them. They just store them inside them, or how the process works, and that's a good way to make good on their threat of devouring people, but also not killing these characters.
yeah. I mean, the fact that Boruto says he'll save Sasuke. Obviously, he's still alive, and I mean, I can't as much as I make fun of Sasuke, Trisuke can't be his final feat. That would be too disappointing. Still need more information in terms of the nuance of this whole, the characters who are turned into trees and how that's going to, how they'll turn back and all that jazz and blues.
Yeah. Like, it's so interesting because it's like next chapter 10, I believe.
Yeah,
it's a 50-50 shot on whether they kidnap Himawari or they don't, and then what happens either way with either of those possibilities.
yeah,
so I don't know.
I think next chapter definitely should be quite a decent amount of Hidari and class rep versus, Sarada and class rep versus Hidari rather.
Yeah, they're holding off that meeting between Sarada and Hidari because Sarada just spent the whole chapter just running, and I'm pretty sure it's because not to lump her in with Hidari so soon. Maybe she'll meet him next chapter. Like we said, we don't know.
We don't know.
But I do think they're holding that meeting off to an extent.
At the very least, I could see chapter 10 ending with probably a small, like an initial attack, and then it's like, "Dad, is that you?" type of ending panel or something like that. And then, because let me see, 9, 10, and then 11. We'll probably finish the Hidari and class rep versus. I keep mixing it up. Sarada and class rep versus Hidari thing, like part way, kind of progress more on the Himawari thing. I'm just kind of trying to wrap up the volume because, of course, this volume is going to end with chapter 12. So I'm kind of wondering how Kishimoto plans to package it. For the most part. Because I mean the ending of the last 2 volumes were pretty big. I mean volume
volume 1, I'm pretty sure it ended with the tree state and then volume.
We ended with, I think,
Two.
Jura. Yeah, last chapter. Chapter 8. Yeah, coming to the village, and of course finding out that Himawari has the Nine Tails chakra. So, I mean, he's been ending the volumes with some major, major reveals. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's just a matter of where the story's gonna go in this current arc. Like the assault on the village, because I don't think they're just gonna leave without getting what they came for, which was, you know, Naruto slash Himawari. And on the other hand, I don't know what's going to drive them out there because Naruto's on commission. No one in the Leaf Village is enough to stand up to them, except for Damon, maybe. Well, yeah, Damon or Ada, if you want to go that route.
Yeah, but I imagine Boruto should be flying towards them right now, probably. No?
Yeah, that's true. If you think you got that karma situation out of control. Well, under control.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. What between a flashback, maybe with Boruto over the training and everything, and Hidari and Sarada getting spotlight next chapter. That's what I'm kind of expecting, and a bit of Himawari, just a bit, because I mean, this isn't like One Piece where like Oda will do something and then he'll skip to something completely different. I think we'll definitely continue the conversation between Kurama and Himawari, probably first thing next chapter at least.
Oh yeah, for sure. If it ended off on a cliffhanger like that, that's what they usually do with Boruto anyway. So I think a good chunk of this is gonna be explaining the mystery behind that Kurama being inside of him. And with the next, I honestly think Boruto's gonna be up the story for a good chunk. Like maybe the next couple of chapters. At least he's not gonna do anything significant.
Well, probably not. I mean, it could even be a case where if they make him disappear and then he reappears and it's like Shikamaru's trying to talk to him, and then it's like it's Momoshiki's voice. He responds to it. That could be a nice setup.
Yeah, like what if after Boruto leaves, we don't see the karma completely disappear from him. So what if he was actually like too late? And then, like you said, it's Momoshiki who's taking.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting.
This is definitely coming into play at some point. We're gonna see Momoshiki.
Man, listen to me. It's as I was saying before, man. Like, I'm I'm scared to see what Momoshiki can do with Boruto's body at this point, dog. It's going to actually be insane, bro. Like, whoa.
He goes for everybody.
Bro, funny, my friend I was talking to offline, Siddiqui, he was like making a joke, say, hey, Momoshiki, he's the type of person to press pause on the controller and go to the move list. Because he's not forgetting the moves. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's like, what was that move called again? Usuhiko? you know Momoshiki's style already.
And he creates his own moves. So
Bro.
he knows what he's going to do.
It's going to be crazy, dog. And at least, I think maybe at that point, we'll have an idea of Boruto's quote-unquote full power, because Momoshiki taking over, of course, he's going to go Karma Stage 2, so we'll have an idea of Boruto's like ceiling at that point too.
Yeah.
So that's what. Yes, we'll find out, man.
Oh, what were we about to say?
No, I was saying I didn't hear that last thing you just said.
Oh no, I was just about to ask you.
No, okay. No, I was gonna ask if you have any like final things to say because I wanna end the stream. It's like 11:18 now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, still got work tomorrow.
you know. Well, yeah, definitely. I think it's a good place to end it off. Like we've been talking about, I'm just like from the chapter.
Yeah.
Lots of things they could go. We're definitely getting some sort of answer to the Himawari problem or situation as well. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, yeah, I'm glad to talk to you and all that today.
Yeah, man, definitely. Really appreciate you coming out as per usual, man. Looking forward to seeing how these chapters go too, because why the possibilities are endless, and I mean, the potential is there for the Boruto franchise to make a really big comeback when everything is said and done in the next few years too. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Alright, man. Respect for coming out.
Yeah, no problem. You know, have fun. You know, keep going with those videos, man.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. We just chilling, having fun. You know, it's therapeutic, I suppose.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah. So.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, man. Alright, yeah, man. I'm gonna wrap up. So be safe, and we'll definitely talk again.
Yeah, for sure. Be safe. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Alright, gentle people. That's pretty much it for the stream. So thanks for coming out. Shout out to persons that, you know, came out in the chat. Shout out to Millennium Kage there as well. Coming on the Discord. So yeah, it's been another end of month subscriber stream. I hope you guys are ready for the month of May and, you know, work towards your goals for this coming months. Yeah, it's been fun. I'm still pretty hungry here, to say the least. But probably just gonna get some water. I don't know. I'll grab a quick snack and then bed after work tomorrow. So this is what it is. But yeah, it's been a pretty decent stream. Can't complain. Shout out to the persons who will be like watching this after it goes up, who weren't able to join as we were live. Shout out to you guys too. Of course, definitely like, comment, subscribe, share the video out. And I'll see you guys in the month of May.